What's up, you young and old hippies? This is Hi Mom, and
Hi Dad.
First off, I'd like to give a shout out to one of a close classmate of mine, Juan, for getting engaged to his high school crush, I believe. Yeah, I would say
Congratulations,
crush.
y'all.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Juan.
And it was also his birthday yesterday, his 21st birthday, so happy late birthday to you on that.
Well, technically, we recorded this yesterday, and we told you happy birthday, but the mics weren't fucking working, and I guess that's on me.
Yeah, but anyways, congratulations, happy birthday. I'd also like to give another shout out to one of my close friends, Liz and Dylan, for getting engaged yesterday as well.
Getting engaged.
Yes.
'Tis the season for love.
Yep.
Congratulations, y'all. It was good job doing it at the aquarium. That was beautiful.
Oh, yes. Both rings are very beautiful. Yes.
And I want to give a shout out to Fernando Montes. If you don't know Fernando Montes, he was on my podcast, The Devon Perception. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. He was on episode 3, but Nando's a really close friend of mine, and he's an entrepreneur. He's trying to get his little barber workshop going. So if you want to book an appointment with him, you can go to nandothebarber1.booksy.com. That's nandothebarber1.booksy.com. Mention Hi Mom, Hi Dad, or the Devon Perception, and you can get $5 off your haircut. So take advantage, guys. That's a pretty good deal. And tell your friends, go check him out and support local business. Support the
up and coming individuals.
Yeah,
everybody.
It's our generation, millennials. We're about to get past the reins of this world, so we might as well start supporting each other and lifting each other up, because it takes a village to make it in this life. Also, you can catch the Devon Perception on Apple Podcast and Google Play. I thought I had submitted both shows, but I guess it only submitted one of them, so stay tuned for Hi Mom and Hi Dad coming out on that. But you can find all of our stuff on our YouTube channel. I'd actually prefer everybody go subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where we want most of the support. So if you haven't already, go to our YouTube, Hi Mom, Hi Dad, the Devon Perception, and like, share, and subscribe. I'm getting all tongue twisted. Like, share, and subscribe, and just help us spread the word. We're trying to get a nice tribe around us. You know why we're trying to get a good tribe, babe?
Why?
Because good tribes bring good vibes, man.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, fucking shit, man. Let's fucking kick this shit off right, yeah. Oi, fuck you doing, mate?
Oh, just fucking chilling, drinking.
Yeah, fucking sipping and smoking.
Yeah, fucking getting high a little bit.
Greetings, y'all, from planet Earth. If you didn't know.
It's just Earth in a different way of saying it. But.
I mean, everything can be different if you say it different. Just because they're spelled weird doesn't mean you have to say them that way. Everything's made up anyways.
True. Very true.
But happy late St. Patrick's Day, y'all. I hope y'all had a good getting drunk day. I didn't really drink on St. Patrick's Day. And
I didn't either. I was sober for the most part. Kinda. Yeah.
Well, you had to work, so yeah, you were sober. But I mean, just because I didn't drink didn't mean I didn't have a little green.
You're lucky though, because you were off. I wasn't.
It was still a normal day for me. Like, I didn't really take any shots, or I didn't drink really at all. I think I had Now I'm thinking about it, I don't think I had one drop of alcohol on St. Patty's Day.
Really?
Yeah, I just sat here and I think I just smoked the whole time.
I could have swore you made a drink and then you forgot that if you made a drink or not.
No, that was the day before.
Okay. The days mixed up. Whoops.
Yeah. But you were showing me that video of the tap dancing for the river dance.
Yeah.
But you knew we're fucking... You had like all kinds of fun facts about river dancing.
Oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't river dancing. It was Irish tap dancing. And let me tell you guys, Irish tap dancing is a pretty cool thing.
They're not the same thing? River dancing and Irish tap dancing?
I think you just made river dancing up.
I'd go ahead and lock in 98% sure river dancing is a real thing.
Okay, you look that up then, because I don't even remember telling you about that. But I came across this video on Facebook. If I can find it, jeez, go to posts. I just barely shared it. It's a really cool video. It looks exactly like Irish tap dancing.
I'm pretty sure river dancing is just another word for tap dancing. But we're going to go ahead and play you like a clip because it sounds really awesome, like just to hear people tap dance, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, think of how long people have known how to tap dance. Like, when did they start tap dancing? Back in like the 1800s?
So, yeah, it started in the 18th and 19th century. And it usually ranges from like 2 to 16 people. So imagine all those 2 to 16 people all being in sync with each other. Like, that shit's mad. It's mad difficult. Listen to this shit.
Listen to Asians. We need y'all to get together.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Alright, you basically get the gist of the whole
Imagine
video,
if you had like 100 people or like 1,000 people all tap dancing at the same time, what it would sound like.
Pretty sure it wouldn't sound anything like that.
I remember when I was in kindergarten, my teacher did like a little experiment and she was like, everybody do like, make this noise, and whenever you have like 30 kids doing it, it sounds like it's raining. Like if everybody's not doing it like at
the same
in sync,
time?
if everybody's just doing it whenever,
Huh.
sounds just like rain.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really mellow. I really like that. I remember a lot of stuff from when I was younger, doing stuff. I remember we had these little, what were they called? They were shaped like birds, but they were whistles and you had to put water in them. And whenever you would you could blow out of them. I don't remember if you blowed out or if you sucked in. I think it was you sucked in, but it would make like a tweeting noise because it goes. But it sounded just like birds.
They had that in school or what?
Yeah, they passed them out. I think mine was yellow.
That's pretty
weird
cool.
how I can remember like all these details too.
I don't think I've ever had that before.
No?
No.
Well, I went to College Lane, so.
Well, I went to College Lane in what grade? I think it was 3rd and 4th grade. And then, what was 3rd grade and then half of 4th grade. I left in the middle of it.
Yo, so you were 2 grades under me, right? Mm-hmm. So if you were I was in 5th grade?
Yeah.
And I can't believe I've never seen you.
I mean,
and I thought I knew all of
you just don't remember.
I thought I knew all the black kids there. Because there wasn't that many. They were all half. There was really no full ones.
I only knew one black kid there. And that was, his name was Mark. He was the only one, yeah. And he was in my grade. His name was Mark Ponce.
Mark Ponce?
Yeah. He was black.
No. I don't remember really any. I remember being like the only black anything in my grade up until like 3rd grade, maybe. No. Because there was this one girl, this half girl named Deja. But I don't know. I think she was there from like kindergarten, but there really wasn't a lot of us. I remember that.
You and Bree and...
I didn't meet Bree until like 3rd grade. I don't think she moved here till like 3rd grade.
But, well, okay. It took that long just for someone to be going to the school that was black?
Basically, well, at least in my grade. There was always this one little kid named Deuce.
Deuce?
Yeah. You know Deuce. He came over when I had ego death. You remember?
How old is he? Because the only Deuce I know is a younger one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He was younger. And that was the only black kid, like full black kid that I knew that went to that school. He had just white people and Mexicans. Not even a lot of Mexicans, honestly.
No.
Mostly white people.
Well, I remember in 3rd grade in College Lane, I did have a redhead best friend and a Mexican best friend. And then I was like the half white, half black. So we looked like this random little, like the assorted flavors of of ice cream.
I had strawberry, chocolate, and
caramel, I guess. That would be so gross to eat that ice cream.
Yeah,
oh, jeez.
I like how we talk about like black and white and stuff like they're different kind of humans.
Oh. I mean, people just want to divide and divide. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I got into like this debacle. I'm gonna call it a debacle.
A debacle?
Yeah, debacle on Facebook yesterday because somebody. I'm not gonna like name drop anybody. I mean, if they're listening, they know who it is.
But they're probably not gonna listen.
But if they're not listening,
they're mindless.
I don't want nobody just firing them up. I mean, I don't care.
Fuck them.
But they shared a post that said mixed people aren't black. They're biracial. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, okay, so does that mean the United States has never had a black president? It's only had a biracial president. Key and Peele, that's not a black skit show. That's a biracial. They don't give biracial people enough credit for things. Because whenever it comes down to it, black people will take over. Like if a mixed person does something, the black people will say, oh, that's us right there. Because Bob Marley was mixed. J. Cole's mixed. Like, there's so many mixed people out here. And to even get into, like, what race is, people act like race actually separates us.
Like, underneath, we're all the same. It shouldn't have to separate us at all.
If we made a list of literally everything that separated us and everything that was similar, the similar one would be way, way, way longer than the differences. Because most people don't even know like how similar we are to chimpanzees and bonobos and gorillas, just great apes. People don't even understand like how similar we are. It's like 98% the same. I think we're 98% the same as gorillas, and like 99 and a short percentage the same as chimps and bonobos.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like that's a pretty high percentage to just sit there and say, no, that can't be true.
I mean, I think Joe Rogan said it best. He said, if I made you a sandwich and it was 98% shit and 2% ham, would you be willing to call that a ham sandwich? No, it's a shit sandwich. They said, like, the difference between rats and mice is more significant than us and chimps. And then just think of how small that difference is that separates a human from a chimp. Like, a chimp can only it can learn sign language, shapes, all that stuff. That 2% difference separates us from them. And we're all, like, 99.9% the same. And that 0.1% makes up all the uniquenesses about us. And just think about all the similarities.
Like the different genetics in our bodies. And
think of like how big that 0.1% makes up of like the gene pool. it's fucking mesmerizing to think about, like, because you have tall people, wide people, fucking skinny people, dark-skinned people, light-skinned people, people with slanted eyes, people with big eyes, people with big lips,
people with red hair.
It's just really awesome. And then you can have like African descended people who are light complected and have no complexion to their hair or skin or anything.
Like albinos?
Exactly. Albinos, yeah. It's just weird. It's just really weird. And then we all focus on our differences so much that we forget how similar we are. Like, we don't all understand everything that lives on the planet is related to a certain extent. We all came from the same ancestors, all life on this planet.
From the same place.
We're all on this little life raft.
So, Pangea.
This bitch don't know about Pangea. They said Pangea? What are you talking about? Oh, I'll fucking tell you what I'm talking about, man. Fucking everything came from a single-celled organism that was a bacteria that started in the oceans. So literally everything that is alive on this planet is related to you somehow. That in itself is weird to think about.
Some crazy shit. Remember our fucking ancestry shit that we did? A lot of the places, like both of ours say that we both on our black sides originated from like certain parts of, what was it, like Africa? Like
yeah, mine was west coastal Africa and like near the Congo and stuff.
I can pull mine up and I'll show. Talk about it.
But I'm technically not even half white, half black. I'm like 60% white, 40% black. Because even on my black side, I have white ancestors. I think my great-grandpa on my black side was either half or full. Yeah, because my dad was real light complected. So, but you know, there's black and there's white and everything because of, I don't know, this big thing called slavery. Man, people just getting raped, and that happens.
A lot of half-breed babies out there even before it became normal.
Mm-hmm. Thomas Jefferson had half-breed kids.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
He had like a slave wife, and he would take her to like Paris, and he would take her everywhere. He was like in love with her.
A slave wife?
Mm-hmm. But he still treated her like a slave because slaves didn't have rights back then. But he loved her. Like that was the love of his life, supposedly. But I don't know that nigga, so.
Fuck that nigga for treating her like a slave.
Well, she was a slave. Back then, that was just normal. Kind of like how people would, if you've seen a black person sitting in a diner and it said whites only, you would say, hey, get out of here.
It doesn't matter like how normal it is, though, because if you're in love with somebody, you're not going to just sit there and treat them like shit, no matter if they're a slave or not. Like, if you're their master, you at least have the fucking ability to sit back and be like, okay, this isn't right, and I love this person, or, you know, like, you shouldn't just sit there. I wouldn't take that person's
what if everybody
shit.
else said, if everybody else found out about what y'all were doing, and that you loved her, and you were treating her not like a slave, and they said, okay, well, we're gonna hang them, we're gonna hang your kids.
Okay,
and we're gonna fuck you up.
That's different to a certain extent. I'm talking about like,
because that's what they did back then.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about like back then in the day, like, what the fuck was I saying? I'm talking about like, fuck, I lost it.
Back in the day, whenever they had slaves.
Yeah, like, of course, like, they would treat him like shit in front of everybody else, but, like, at least behind closed doors, that he doesn't treat her like shit still. Well,
I'm pretty sure, like, if he's taking her on trips, he didn't treat her like shit behind closed doors.
How do you know
but I don't know. But you don't know if he did treat her like shit either.
You're right. I'm over here jumping to conclusions, doing what a woman does best.
I mean, he still owned slaves, so that's what they did back then, you know? Cassandra was getting into, like, that Elvis post I had. Well, that's just what people did back then. And they would, like, it was normal for, like, an older man to court a younger woman. And it's basically grooming her to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
They met at like when she was 14 and got married when she was 18.
But it was with the parents' permission. But either way, it's still stupid. Like,
I mean, it's the same situation R. Kelly's in, and everybody hopped on R. Kelly. Like, he likes younger women, and then he would groom them to be with him. Because I heard he was telling them when you have to be, like, you have to tell me where you're gonna go, what you're doing, and stuff, like brainwashing them, kind of.
jeez, that sounds like a controlling relationship.
Exactly. Like, they think he gets off on, like,
Control?
yeah, going off on little power trips. And speaking of power trips, I notice everybody who goes off on their own little power trips, especially at, like, work. There's this one guy up there. He's an older guy, and he tries to make people feel dumb a lot. Well, he's tried to make me feel dumb a lot already. Yeah. And I just look like I don't pay any mind to it, because I asked him, I was like, hey, where can I find another, like, what are those called? Trash bags for this plastic. And he, like, just looked at me and he didn't say anything, and then he walked over and then grabbed it off the top of something and then was like, here? And I was like, I didn't know. Thanks for showing me, I guess. But I was like, as soon as he did that, like, as soon as I was turning, I was like, you probably grew up in a place where you felt like you didn't have a lot of power. So now that you've gotten to this little place of power at a grocery store in your, 60 years of life, you feel like you need to flex your little cunt on people. Show how big your dick is.
Bust it wide open.
I hate when people try and
sling their dick around.
Yeah, like, just because we're in this little society and you think you have this little illusion of power over me, we can go out to the parking lot and then we'll see who fucking walks out with the chinchilla. Throw me in the jungle and I'm walking out with a chinchilla.
Nigga, what?
Basically saying, I don't care who you are.
You still walking out with something?
I don't care who you are. You throw me in the ring and it's me or you, it's gonna be you.
Didn't I beat your ass twice earlier today?
Dude. Oh my god, here we go again.
Okay, this nigga wanted to come at me just because I raised my voice just a little tiny bit. He's like, watch who you talking to. And I said, nigga, I'll talk louder if I have to. And I did, and I rose my voice, and he rushed me. So, and by the way, I was in the middle of a match on Black Ops. Ended up coming back with 0 and 7 deaths. So, thanks to you, by the way.
It's not my fault you're trash.
Okay, well, you're trash at fighting your girl or your wife, so...
I'm pretty sure that's got to be a compliment. Because if it was the opposite way around, you're really good at fighting your wife. Like, I'd probably be in jail.
No, playful fight. Duh.
Babe.
Like, I know when to, like, tap out if I know I can't handle it anymore. But I didn't tap out. You did.
Oh, my. I didn't tap out.
You right.
You hit me in the balls, for one.
You
hit me in the nuts.
Which was a complete accident, by the way. I promise you it was a complete accident.
Just looking the opposite way and punching backwards. All wild. Anywhere.
That's an accident, though, right? It's not like I was staring right at your balls like,
it's not like you tried to avoid my balls, either.
Well, where else can I hit? Like... I can't hit you in the face.
I'm just saying, you low blowed me. That knocked some points off your scorecard right there.
Oh,
like,
did it?
Yeah.
Didn't you start flicking me though right afterwards?
I flicked your nipple, bro. Come on. That's not even as bad as getting punched in the balls.
You started flicking other places too before you went to the nipples.
Well, it's not like I could flick there anyways. You know how hard it is to generate a flick?
Yeah. I was blocking most of them. I was like, fuck you, nigga. Yeah.
Speaking of genitals, I had a thought today.
Uh-oh.
Well, I was actually listening to the JRE podcast, and it was Your Mom's House, Tom Segura and them, and they were talking about whenever they discovered masturbation, and I was like, when did I discover masturbation? I think I was like 11. I think I was 11.
Word?
Yeah. But I think the only reason I knew is because of pornography, like to jerk it. Because I didn't have nobody to teach me how to jack my dick.
You watched porn of somebody jacking off?
That's how they finish, you know?
You watched the whole porn?
Yeah, that was, like, I would just watch porn when I was 11. It's not like...
That's even weirder. I'm just kidding.
My dick would be hard, but I didn't know why my dick was hard, and I didn't know what to do about it. I just thought weird. Being hard is how it goes down. And then, like, I grew up on, like, softcore porn, so, like, on my TV, it was, like, channel 17, and the channel was real fuzzy.
Good times. Yes, yeah. I remember that.
The channel was mad fuzzy, and then it would, like, the screen would, like, go up and keep moving. And sometimes it would stay on, like, one scene for a little bit, and I'd get a nice little shot of a titty.
Yeah,
because there was no penetration. Like, you could tell, like...
It'd just be the girls playing with themselves in a shower or with, like, whipped cream on them.
Yeah, and their titties would just be bouncing, that's it. And then, like, if the guy was, like, eating her out or whatever, you could tell he's, like, on her belly button. and then, like, they wonder why I thought it was way up there whenever I first started having sex. I was like, there's no way your puss is way down here. Come on. But no, like... Before I got on the XXX stuff,
that's your preferred?
It was softcore porn, so I never saw dicks. I never saw vaginas, really. I think the only time I saw vaginas was on Girls Gone Wild. Because I'm not going to name drop, but one of my friends' dad, if he's listening, he knows who he is. He had Girls Gone Wilds, and we would watch those hoes.
Oh my goodness.
And see, that's
weird.
I just thought it was nice to learn about sex and feel those sexual feelings, I guess, because they were nice.
Right next to your friend?
I didn't think of it like that. It wasn't in a gay way, you know. It was like watching a comedy and you're laughing together.
No homo, bro.
Yeah, we didn't touch, we didn't make eye contact or anything. I didn't look at him like, yeah, let's do this.
You like that, bro? Yeah, fuck yeah.
We're both into the fucking show. You know, actually, I think the very first time I saw, like, sex, I had to have been, like, 8. And I think Buddha was going through the channels. And then it, like, flipped past one, and I was like, ah! And he was like, oh, did you see that? And he went back to it for, like, 10 seconds and then switched it again.
Why would he do that?
It's like giving your kid a sip of beer or something, like.
No.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
No, I'm not going to show my kids that.
No.
They're going to have to
fucking scar them
I don't think it's going to scar them, but.
You're right. It'll make them curious.
The world's already, like, way overly sexualized, so we're going to have to deal with that. Because the way that I was taught to deal with my sexual urges is to suppress them.
Yes, me too.
And I don't think that was good for me. Not in, like, it was just made everything really confusing, and it made me feel like a bad person when,
Sometimes I still feel like a bad person.
I don't. I just feel like, well, you heard, no, fuck, they don't know about it. They don't know about post-nut syndrome.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't feel bad about it until post-nut syndrome happens. And for those of you who don't know what post-nut syndrome is, I'm pretty sure the fellas kind of get an idea of what I'm saying, but it's the clarity that you feel after you bust a nut. Because up until that point, the things you'll tolerate, the things you'll accept, it could be anything. You'll put up with anything. Like, fuck, I'll just leave my car here. I'll pay for this, whatever. I'll fucking pay for it. And then as soon as I'll leave with this ugly bitch, whatever. As soon as you bust that nut, it's like reality comes rushing back and you're like, what have I done?
It's like, I regret everything but that nut.
Why'd I do this? I
want to go home.
Exactly. Post-nut syndrome. So I don't feel bad about it up until, like, I just make some bad decisions in the name of busting a nut. Because you don't understand what testosterone feels like. Testosterone is a really strong instinct you could tell it's like why. Kind of like, okay, think of like the intense love and like motherly instincts you felt as soon as you got to hold Hendrix and see Hendrix. Like everything that switched in you. Like, and how strong.
Like the day he was born?
Yeah, like, and think of like the strong.
But I don't think you can compare it to that, because that day I was like bawling my ass out. Like,
well, tell me what you felt after you had him.
Like, really, like, it's like a whole bunch of happiness and tears of joy, and then sadness, and then like, oh no, it's just like a lot of feelings that rush towards me.
Well, what about like the love that you felt for him?
Well, I had a lot of love in there. Trust me, I didn't want to let go of him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wanted to keep him by my side.
And like, you have to protect this baby, and it's not about you anymore. Kind of all those intense feelings. That's what testosterone's like, except it's just nature trying to trick you into making more people.
Spreading your seed.
Yeah, and you cannot resist the power of Mother Nature.
No.
They said that on Big Mouth. On Big Mouth, he says, "You cannot resist the power of Mother Nature." And then he fucking jizzed in his sleep. He said, "You've got 48 hours, man. You're going to blow your top."
It's medically advised that you at least, rub one out.
I'm pretty sure, like, whenever the boys
twice a week.
When the boys start turning 10 and 11, I'm not going to teach them how to jerk off, but I'm going to tell them the importance of jerking off and stuff, and taking care of your urges and stuff, and not telling them that it's a bad thing. And the only reason I felt like a bad person for it is because of religion.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like every time
you know what?
I jerked off, I felt like I was going to hell.
I was told by, like, both my grandma and my dad that God wouldn't like it because it's, like, not morally right. Like, it's lusting.
Yeah.
Like, and that's one of the 7 deadly sins, apparently. So,
lust.
Yeah. I mean,
I got told by a pastor. Like, I had to have counseling with a pastor and everything. Like,
who is he to you now? He's a nobody now.
But back then, he was my pastor. Like, and it was a Baptist church, like a Southern Baptist church. So,
of course,
almost
the pastor's gonna tell you that.
Well, of course, yeah.
But you don't expect your parent to tell you, yo, if you do this, you're gonna go to hell. Like, you shouldn't do that. It's wrong.
And he necessarily didn't say I was going to hell, but almost every service at that church was about disobeying God and him showing his wrath upon you. So I was terrified of
really? That's wild. I went to like black churches, or a black church mainly, and then like I can't remember any of my church services with my white, like on the white side, like in the white churches or whatever. I just remember a whole bunch of singing old ass hymns, boring ass songs. Fuck that.
Praise and worship was the worst part about church for me. I hated it so much.
It depends. Well, on my black side church, they were like, the church lasted way too goddamn long, like 3-4 hours sometimes.
Oh no, I could do 2.
Okay, I would say like 2.5 to 3 hours. 4 hours if it's like a special occasion, like Easter. Yeah. Or maybe longer. Fuck, I don't know, Christmas.
Well, whenever I was in high school, I think me and Jose would go to church at like 8.
Oh, jeez.
8 or 9. That was when Bible study was, and then actual service started at like 10:30 and then let out at like 12 or 12:30.
See, that's not bad.
But like, not even 9 to 12:30. Oh my
That's
God.
A long time.
Yes, I was so. I mean, that was whenever church was funner, because growing up, I didn't like church at all. I remember asking one of my teachers, like, when does church let out? Like school does.
Like Sunday school teacher?
Yeah, and they were like, oh, we'll be out in a couple of minutes, in an hour or so. Yeah. And then after it was over, I was like, I'm so happy I don't have to come back. And they were like, well, it's a vacation Bible school. See you tomorrow. And I was like, I'm so done with this place. I don't want to come back. I hated it so much. Like, looking back on how much I hated church. And I didn't like praise and worship.
I remember I used to get in trouble for not wanting to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my
I would
gosh.
try
I used to fight my stepmom about it.
I hated Sundays, yeah. I would try and so hard to sleep in and not wake my mom up.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because if she woke up in time to make it to church, we were going.
I would, like, pretend to sleep in. Like, I would hear them getting ready for church. And then I would just sit there and, like, cover my face. And then, like, my stepmom would come in the room like, hey, you need to get ready. And I'm like, I don't want to go. She's like, well, you have to go. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't want to go. And then I would just sit there and, like, throw an attitude in church. Like, I would throw a little kid-ass fit, be 12, 13 years old. I just didn't want to fucking go. Like, why are you forcing a 13-year-old to go to church? It doesn't make sense.
I think the only thing I liked about church, the only times I had, like, fun is whenever it did, like, whenever they would call, who wants to rededicate their life to Jesus or whatever, it felt nice to feel like I was on a clean slate and that I wasn't going to hell anymore. That was, like, the relief that I felt because, and now that I think about it, no disrespect to any Christians listening. This is just my own personal experience, but now that I think about it, it's kind of like I just stood there and just talked to myself until I felt better. Which is kind of what I do now, except
you just talking to yourself or whatever. Like,
yeah, I just don't have like an imaginary friend to it now.
I remember standing up front in the altar and like in a line where the pastor or bishop or whatever would like anoint you or whatever. They put a cross on your head and then the pastor would pray for you. Mm-hmm. That was super annoying because they were like loud and spitting in your face and sweaty.
Or they would sit there and pray with you for like 10 minutes straight.
Yes, and then somebody would throw themselves out on the floor.
Oh, no, I'm glad I didn't go to those.
Yes.
No.
That was the churches that I went to. For the most part, I mean...
How come nobody ever catch the Holy Ghost outside of church? I ain't never seen nobody catch the Holy Ghost outside of church.
Well, it's probably because they're not praising outside of church. Like, a lot of people just go to church to praise. Like, some people do it at home.
How come nobody can just catch the Holy Ghost whenever, though? Like, you would think if you were, like, close enough with God, you could just catch the Holy Spirit whenever.
You got me there, man. I really don't know.
I don't know. But, and another good thing about church, after church, going out to eat.
Nope.
That's because we never went out to eat. So I knew if we went to church, you better take me out to eat. Like, you dragged me out here and you're not going to take me out to eat? Fuck you, I ain't coming next week. I'm going to pretend I'm sick, or I'm going to slow us all the way up and we miss praise and worship. Fuck. God.
I remember our dinners were, like, after church sometimes. They would, like, fix food up.
Yeah.
Some good food.
Like at the church?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which sucked, too. But it didn't. I wouldn't say it sucked. No, okay. I take that back. You know what I hated about... It didn't suck.
You know what I hated about, like, church lunches or dinners or whatever? The kids have to make their plate first, and then before anybody can eat, you have to pray. So everybody has to get a plate, or they would just pray right before.
Yeah, I think they prayed right before.
Yeah, it would usually be right before, and then, but you have to wait in line until everybody makes their kids a plate first.
I don't know. Honestly, I liked the after part of church because we got to eat food. I got to spend time with my friend or my cousins and everything because, like, our church was, like, really family-oriented. Like, it was nothing but, like, just straight-up family, couple of outsiders. Like, other people's families and stuff, you know, going to ours. I don't know. I miss it because after we would eat, we'd go play outside. Mm-hmm. By the way, I remember beating Brian racing from, like, one of the stop signs to another.
Like running?
Yes. I used to be pretty fast back then.
You beat his ass?
Oh, yeah, I beat him.
You were pretty fast,
Smoked
too?
that nigga. Smoked him.
He said, I rolled him up.
Yeah.
Toked it.
Yep.
Fucking...
But now he can beat me, so there's no point.
So?
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe he hasn't ran in a long time.
Brian, if you're hearing this, I'm calling you out.
She's calling you out, mate. You just come fucking go sort him out, yeah. But one thing I do miss about church is like having a sense of community, because it feels like I'm not an atheist, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I don't have any people who, not that there isn't people who feel the way that I do or think the way that I do, but we don't meet up and talk about how to be better versions of ourselves, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like you shouldn't have to talk, like, just meet up. Like,
I feel like it's good, though. Like, having a community gives people a sense of purpose. It gives them, and I think that's, as humans, we need that, a sense of community, because we are very tribe-oriented. That's how we evolved as a species, is by tribes. And it feels like I don't have a tribe, except for this podcast, if you're listening still.
Yeah.
We thank you.
Yes. Thank you for continuing.
But yeah, like that's one thing I miss, is having like a sense of community. Even if it was like a fitness community, or it feels like I don't belong to a community anymore. A community of people besides this family.
But you don't have to, though, because you're your own individual.
I know.
You have your community on Facebook.
I am an individual, but I know I'm also part of a collective at the same time. And it's nice to be a part of a group.
Yeah, I would say, because I'm in my little tribe group. We're ending in a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sad about that, because I really like this group. Like, they're pretty fun.
You get to do it next year.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to.
Yeah.
Like, I felt uncomfortable at first because they're, like, way older than me. I'm, like, a good...
15.
I'm the youngest one, but I'm, like, at least a good, I would say, 11 years behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, everybody there is grown.
A whole ass generation behind them.
And most of them are, like, stay-at-home moms, huh?
I don't know. I mean, I know one of them is, like... She sells, like, rodent and fields. That's, like, skin product and, like, eye wrinkle product and all that. So I know she does that. So I don't know if she stays at home or not. And one of them does, like, Mary Kay. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm going to miss them, though.
Yeah.
I feel like I just barely started bonding. And because I felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, even if it wasn't like a tribe group like that, like, look at like, are they the Purple Saints?
What is that?
It's like a biker gang around here.
Oh, them?
Yeah. So they're, I don't know their name.
The black, I think it's the Black Saints. I don't know.
I got them mixed
up
with.
They wear purple though.
I got them mixed up with Saints Row because I was like, it's a gang that's purple and they're the Saints and purple. Anyways, that'd be nice to have like a club or like a bar, like the Moose kind of, that everybody goes to. And imagine if it was like people like us who pothead parents, trippy parents or whatever, or just trippy people in general. And like they bring their kids and we have like a playground over here. The adults meet up these days and we have like functions and stuff, like we throw parties.
Hey.
It'd be nice, right?
It would be. I feel like that'd take a lot of planning though.
Yeah, it would take a lot of planning, but who knows in the future? You never know what could happen in the future. Mm-hmm. We're making it today, so the future's whatever we want it to be.
It reminds me of that song that you like.
I guess it's safe to say that we created the future yesterday. Out the body, nigga, out of space. Fucking, what were you telling me about I know people?
Oh, the know-it-all people. I don't mean like the know-it-all people as in like they actually know shit and they want to educate you all the time.
They have a lot of information bouncing around in their head that they share. I'm
talking about the I know it people. Whenever you try and talk to them about something, like just a minor fix, like say, like something to help better a situation, and you're like, hey, next time just do this or do this, and they're like, oh, I know, and you just take a step back and you're like, well, if you
Why
knew,
didn't you do it? Yeah.
then why the fuck did you do it?
Yeah.
Or like you can't just like educate them on something when you know goddamn well that they don't know, and they're just like, oh, I know.
I wonder why people do that.
I know.
I wonder if it's like a defense mechanism.
I know.
I feel like it's a defense mechanism, like for somebody who doesn't know, and they don't want to feel inferior in that moment.
Like, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, admit when you're wrong. I admit whenever I'm wrong, and even whenever I don't, I'm like, I take a step back and I'm like, okay, like, it may take me a little bit, but I'll still apologize for it. Like, okay, I'm sorry that I was wrong then. Like,
yeah, there is.
I am the bigger person sometimes, so like, just admit that you're wrong, or just listen to the advice. Don't just like think ahead for an answer. Just
okay, I see. Don't listen to reply. Listen to listen.
Yeah, like actually take in the information that they're trying to tell you, instead of just sit there and saying like, yeah, I already know this. Why are you telling me, you dumb cunt?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what I'm not trying to like chastise you. I'm just trying to learn you, you know, like give you some knowledge, help you out.
Those are probably the people. I feel like a lot of people, especially in our generation, didn't grow up hearing no as much as like most of the other generations. So, and like growing up in the sports that we did, they gave out like participation trophies. They gave out.
I got a participation trophy.
I hated when I got a participation trophy.
Yeah, same.
Because I would get trophies for a lot of things. Because I was pretty good at sports growing up. But this, we don't want to introduce failure to people. I feel like a lot of people just don't know how to take constructive criticism. I feel like I'm good at taking constructive criticism because I had people all my life telling me how I'm fucking up and how to fix it. And I could either get mad and pretend like I'm not fucking up, or I could just acknowledge that I'm fucking up. They told me how I could probably fix it. Why not just try it their way? Oh, that fucking worked. Or I failed again. Maybe they'll have some more advice for me.
Or just figure a different way out.
I would just do exactly what I was told to do. And if I kept fucking up, then I would adapt and fix it, or they would come back the next day and say, let's try it this way, or let's try it this way. But if you're easy to mold, there's not a lot of friction. The kids who would get mad or get all butthurt whenever they would fuck up, they never ended up being good because they stopped trying.
I would beat myself up, like, and one of my friends, David Tackett, he can attest to, or not attest to it, but he can agree that he's witnessed this. 7th grade, whenever I wasn't that great at the clarinet, because I used to be super trash, did not understand it, couldn't play it. I legitimately watch other people, like the fingerings and shit. But 7th grade, I started to somewhat get better, and like, I remember every time I would mess up during something, I would punch the fuck out of my leg. I would punch the fuck out of myself. Like, I'd literally just be beating myself up in class. And David would just be like, yo, stop. It's okay. And I'm like, no, I messed up. And I felt like that helped me become a better player, because a couple years later, I was first chair in 9th grade. Well, I would say I've been first chair, because like 7th grade was 8th grade first chair, 9th grade first chair. Sophomore, I think I started off 3rd chair and then moved up. No, I started off 4th chair. Yeah, I remember that. Sophomore year, I moved up 4th chair, which is like, And then I challenged. No, not compared to like 8 other clarinets.
Yo, is it like a drumline if you challenge somebody? Have you seen drumline? And you have to get in front of everybody and challenge them?
Nah, we didn't do it in front of a lot of people. We did it like we had to know both scales, like both chromatic and a certain scale. We had to know all of our scales basically. But they basically told us which scale, and you would practice that. And then you had to challenge them on whatever piece of music that you think that they're not that good at.
So the challenger gets to pick the piece?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you could how much time has to pass before you could re-challenge for your chair back if you lose?
I think it was 3 days.
Oh, okay,
and believe me, I took those 3 days.
Yeah.
I really did.
So you got challenged and got beat, and then you took the 3 days.
I
and
took
came
the
back?
challenging. No, I did the challenging. Like,
and then waited 3
I was 4th chair, went to 3rd chair, went to 2nd chair. Stayed 2nd
so
chair.
you did challenge 3 days, challenge 3 days. And you're like, fuck these niggas,
I mean,
y'all aren't as good as me.
I failed the first challenge. Took the criticism. They told me what you can do better or whatever. Took that, bettered my playing, and then challenged her again on that piece and a different, harder piece. And then, boom, got her.
Man.
Yes. And then, like, junior year, I was 1st chair all year. I think one person beat me, and then I challenged them back. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think if I messed up in sports or whatever, I never really beat myself up about it. I might smack my helmet a little bit, like, come on, fucking focus.
Get your shit together.
Because I would see, like, before I'd make a mistake, I would see it happen in slow motion, and I would make, like, a quick decision, and I'd be like, fuck, I fucked up. And then they would be like, Davin, I'd be like, I know, and then I would say exactly what I did wrong sometimes. Like, whenever, by the time I got to senior year, like, I fucked off junior year. But junior year, I was going through, like, a lot of shit my junior year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see why I was making the decision, but it's no excuse still. But I fucked off and fucked up a lot of my chances for my senior year and my junior year. So whenever I came back my senior year, I had to work my way back up through everything. But, I mean, they would grade us. So, say we had a game, the coach would sit there and watch every position from every play. And it would only be a couple of possessions a game, so it probably wouldn't take very, very long, but still. I never made past, like, a B.
Like, dang.
Yeah, no, I knew my shit, and, like, I didn't even like defense. I didn't like the position that I played or anything, but it was the only one I could start at, so I fucking took it and I just ran with it, and I still made, like, all district. Yeah, I made all district. But, I mean, anytime I wouldn't beat myself up, I would just get better because I knew my shit.
Yeah.
I still know that shit. Like, I could still play that position right now. I still know all the reads and everything. But, yeah, it was really weird. It's really weird, like, how good I was at it because I could tell, like, the coaches didn't want to play me. Like, they kind of just wanted to set me to the side, like, oh, he's not reliable. We can't trust him. And I understand, like, I missed a lot of the summer practices. I missed a game my junior year.
Oh, wow.
But, I mean, I was, like, running a fever, and it was raining and cold. And we were about to get smacked that game, too. So I was like, I'm not fucking playing, yeah.
There's no point.
That's how I was feeling at the time. And then, like, summer and stuff, I missed all the practices because, like, I don't know, I think I was depressed. I didn't want to leave the house or anything. But it was because, like, my mom was going through cancer. It was right after she told me she was going to die from cancer. And she was taking a lot of trips everywhere. So she would be gone for, like, weeks at a time. And I don't know, now that I look back on it, I could tell, like, I was real fucked up about everything. But at the time, like, I just would try and run from my emotions, so. But I still had to work my way all the way back up, but I still took somebody's starting spot before the middle of the season, like, by the second or third game.
Dang.
It's because, like, I could have probably started at any position, like, now that I weigh 75 pounds less, because
But you could
really
probably
smart.
fuck some people up.
Yeah, I know I can. Because I'm really smart. I've always been really smart and you see how fast I pick things up. And
I don't know why you don't just get into, like, the flag football at the core.
I just don't want to fuck my body up anymore. Because I have really weak ankles. I tore my knees up. I fractured an ankle. And playing on turf, you could still fuck your knees and ankles up. I mean, I honestly, my sport days are probably over. I'll play for fun, but...
Well, yeah, that's why they have, like, the thing at the core. It's for fun. It's not just
for
for
fun,
like...
but it's like a league. Like, you still take it serious, kind of.
True.
I don't know. I might play. I have to get some cleats and everything, but I might play. I don't know.
You don't have to if you don't want to. It's okay.
It's not that I don't want to. It's just I'm nervous.
Why?
Because I haven't played football literally since 12th grade, so it's almost been 4 or 5 years now.
Jeez. I just barely started picking up my clarinet. I miss playing it.
Yeah.
I'm terrible now. Like.
Yeah, my fingering on my guitar is getting real rusty because I don't play as much as I want to.
I can still remember my chromatic skill, but that's the only skill I can remember, basically.
If this podcast or whatever we end up doing on YouTube ends up paying all the bills or whatever, I'll probably get really good at a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, because you'll be at home more often.
Yeah, I'll just have time to do whatever I feel like. You know what I was thinking about doing? I kind of, once we get this camera, oh yeah, we're going to have video pretty soon, guys, so I thought it was going to be this week, but my camera is too old, so I got to get a new one. But I want to do like my Thread Beast unboxing videos. Why not?
Hey, you can do Snack Crate.
You can do Snack Crate. You can do your Ipsy. No, not Ipsy.
I don't do Ipsy.
What's that?
Do Stitch Fix.
Yeah, Stitch Fix. You know, Tom Segura's wife is sponsored by them.
Oh, word.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember hearing their ad on there.
Mm-hmm. She does Stitch Fix, but you could do your unboxing for that and everything. And I'm trying to. We got a mad content coming out, guys. Like we're really trying to expand on our creativeness. I want to do vlogs for when we go on trips. Just kind of vlog a little bit of the trip, not all of it, but main points on what we're doing.
That'd be pretty cool.
A fitness channel would be pretty cool. Maybe vlog like some of my workouts. You know. So it'll be. We'll have a lot more stuff for y'all to enjoy about us if y'all vibe with us now. And we basically kind of went through a lot of this stuff. It's already coming up on an hour. Like, this episode seemed to flow way more easy than last episode.
I don't know. At first, it wasn't like at the beginning.
Yesterday felt real choppy. You want to talk about? We just got back from the movies, y'all. Like we went and watched Captain Marvel. So spoiler alert!
That probably hurt their ears.
Said, okay. First they whisper in my ears a couple episodes ago. Now they're yelling in my ears. But yeah, spoiler alert. Like it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
And it connected a lot of the questions that I had for how like the last Avengers movie ended.
Yeah, y'all just gonna have to go watch that. Like,
yeah, we didn't drop any spoilers. I didn't have to yell.
You asshole! I bet they're like, I ain't even trying to hear them right now. Like, what the fuck?
Blah blah blah. Gunshot. And you know what it is. So, yeah, but this seems like a pretty good place to wrap this episode up. So
wrap it up.
Be sure to go check out our YouTube, Hi Mom, Hi Dad / The Devin Perception.
Share the fuck out of us.
Yeah, share the fuck out of us.
Put us on public.
Yeah.
Yeah, share us on public.
Yeah, we're really trying to reach new people. I got into that on my podcast, why I want to reach new people instead of like our friends or people who know of us. And it's nothing against, like, y'all. We love the support and love that y'all been giving us. It's just, I don't know, like, it feels gross having to ask people to like and share because it feels like they're doing it out of pity and not because they actually like what we're doing. Because, I mean, I see the stats. I know most of y'all only, like, I think...
They only listen for 4 minutes.
Yeah, like, that's... I don't even think
4 minute Tom looking ass. Listen for longer than that.
I think my last episode of the Devin Perception, the average watch time was only like 14 seconds. Like that's not even past like the music playing.
Like the music sucked that bad to where you had to leave? Okay.
You didn't even hear what I had to say yet.
But you know what? It's going to take I feel like it would take a long time for our fan base to set up. I feel like it would take a while.
Yeah, I'm planning on like... You got to plan for like 10 years being consistent. doing stuff for like 10 years. I'm thinking about like when we're in 2029 or at least 5 years from now. Like, that's a goal for right now.
I was like, that's a long time to just be doing
well,
podcasts,
like in 10
man.
years, I see us in 10 years being at like the height of the success. Like, everything's paying dividends or whatever. We got everything going and our name's out there. We've been established.
Hey, maybe people would ask us to go on their shows. Hey,
I've been trying to
that
tell
would be
people to
pretty
start
cool.
up their own little podcast or whatever, because I feel like I think in Hobbs we're the only people doing a podcast right now. I haven't heard anybody else's. I haven't seen anybody else's.
Like, at least no one that shares theirs.
Which is why I say I got my own vibe, got my own lane. And if I ain't the greatest, Batman ain't Bruce Wayne. He said,
Okay.
What are you, a rapper, bro? Actually, I am. Name's Chief Sass. He said, what's Sass stand for? It's sipping and smoking.
Hey, like
Chief
that.
Sip and Smoke.
Okay.
Yeah. But as always, guys, stay tuned. We fucking love you. Be safe out there. Stay high.
Also, credits to Kamar for this song. This dope-ass song we're about to drop.
Shout out to Kamar. Find him on Instagram or YouTube at martianpowers. See y'all later, guys.
Bye.
Peace.